Nick Rayner. I'm the director of sales and marketing, and the company is SureDry.
What are the key problems that Hatch is solving for you?
Yeah, for us, it's automation, but automation in a way that makes sense. I mean, I think there's technology out there that's just like automating things for the sake of automating things. And so for us, how we utilize it on the sales side is through building campaigns to reach out to customers who have not said yes yet, right? And so like our sales team runs an appointment, they don't sell it, they follow up for a couple days, they're not able to get a yes or a no. We just build automated campaigns that drop those customers in. We build, I can build out a cadence essentially of text and email communications that go out that just keep us in front of those customers. My goal with clients is always like, hey, we want to follow up until we hear yes or no. And really what it's done for us is all of those points of communication were one-to-one before, where like I had an inside sales rep who had to send out every email, every text, and make every phone call. Obviously, they don't have to do that anymore. I've cut their workload down by like 2/3 because they're not sending texts and emails anymore. Those are just auto firing. So now they can focus their entire time on outbounding calls and then responding to inbound messages. And so we've made them way more productive. Like let's just say like launch day is a phone call and a text message, and then day 3 is a phone call and an email, and day 5 is a phone call, a text message, and an email, but the email and text are staggered at different times. And so it really has just allowed our inside sales team, before call lists would get congested, right? We'll get 1,000 leads in April, which means we're running, at full capacity, all of our sales guys. That clogs up our call lists. I mean, there's only so many calls in a day that someone can do. When you're also, for every call, you're also sending a text and an email. Like now they don't have to worry about the other 2/3 that they can just call. And so that's been the greatest, at least on the sales side, the greatest like kind of success story that Hatch has been able to provide for us. Is that we're taking work off their table so they can be more focused on calls. And then too, like inevitably you're gonna get a customer where you get locked up in a conversation. You're editing a proposal or something like that. It allows them to be able to move through those conversations without feeling like I have to get back to my calls, because otherwise the end of the day is going to come and I still have 40 calls to make, so we did like 3.2 million in inside sales last year, which is huge. I mean, that's like accounting for over 20% of our inbound sales. So whereas before, like we were still putting up good sales numbers, but everything was one-to-one. Everything was manual. Every text that went out, every email, every phone call, versus now our reps only have to make phone calls. They can reply to text messages and emails, but they don't have to type up a whole new. And through working with our Hatch rep, I just got to see the backside of it a little bit and was asking a lot of questions and learned kind of at a higher level how to build out campaigns to really make them unique to the end user. And so I've learned how to include their name, include the category of appointment they called us for. So we're generating really tailored and kind of like I hesitate to use the word bespoke because they're not bespoke, but like really, I guess tailored would be the best word, messaging for people so that it really hits on why they called us in the first place. The feel of our messages don't feel like it's automation. It feels like you're actually getting an email or a text message from somebody.
So it sounds like when you created your estimate follow-up campaigns, you just added some more snippets in there to be like, hey, we recently came out and quoted you on this service. How did it go? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. With this rep or on this day, I mean, all of like we can get pretty specific with just the criteria and the data fields that we're pulling from our CRM.
So after they do an estimate, do you give the person that ran the estimate a few days to do their own follow-up, and then after a certain time, then the Hatch campaign goes out?
Yeah, yes, we do. So we give them 3 days, and part of that is because we give them 48 hours to result the appointment, like to enter the appointment results. And so I don't have it trigger right away because they need time to upload pictures, upload notes, upload the proposal, all of that stuff. So we give them a 72-hour window before the campaign kicks off, and we reach out for that first point of contact.
And then that's for like kind of recent estimates. Do you do a campaign for older estimates as well?
Yeah, for sure. I've got one running right now, offering a 10% off discount that is dated from January 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2024. So it's like a little more than a year. It's like a year and a half look back essentially on old proposals. And again, the goal there is just like, let's get a yes or a no. If people are interested, great, let's get them back in the mix and get somebody out there to requote it. And if not, let's close them out and then we know. So right now I've taken a bit of a step back to focus on sales as we've had some attrition in our sales team. So I'm really working closely with our sales team. But
I mean, it can be quite a grind. Do you think Hatch is going to be helpful in that sense at all with helping with attrition?
It's already helped for sure for the customer service rep roles. I know that Podium just wasn't as robust, and we didn't have the ability to do the things that we're doing with Hatch. So I know it's been hugely helpful.
What's your favorite thing about Hatch? What do you like best about it?
The support. Like you guys are like Niche is widely available. Our other account manager was widely available. In the instances where they weren't and I needed something like yesterday, white glove service has been awesome. And so I would say, in this business, when things go wrong, they go catastrophically wrong. And when you need someone to step up and help, like it is kind of a serious, like you're communicating with customers, thousands of customers. And so like we don't have the luxury of time. And at the turn of every corner, the support side of things has been great.
Are you using it for anything else? Are you using Hatch for like speed to lead or like
sure.
You are? Okay. So what are you using lead aggregators at all, or do you just use website forms?
Both. Yeah, we're using web form fills and lead aggregators. That's all Shar. And so you'd probably want to talk to her about like how that's all working.
Yeah, I think the number one is obviously its ability to contact leads so quickly for you. So I think that having that automated first message as soon as a lead comes through is super important to up our conversion rates, especially when it comes to lead aggregators like Angie's List and stuff like that. We know how important it is to be the top responders in order to get that lead to convert for your company. So that was a huge motivator for me.
And with Hatch, that the outcome or whatever information you want, that goes back into i360 automatically into the notes section?
Yep. So every message that we have, it automatically goes into the communication log, which is where we see all of our communication with the customer, which is super helpful for either knowing who was the last person to deal with the customer, where they're at in the scheduling process, or anything like that.
Okay. So for my education, does it just send a record that a conversation was had, or does it actually put the whole transcript of the conversation into the notes?
It has the whole message, all the whole messages. So yeah, it'll be like kind of line by line, going back and forth. But yeah, it'll have the whole message, which is really nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Another one, honestly, was just like the ability to stay organized. I really like the ability to have those different workspaces for each different department to be able to work in. And then if you do need to pass the message along to someone, it's really easy just to move that customer into that workspace and have them start responding. Like our customer care team, we have two. We have one for our sales appointments and one for our service appointments. So we can have different people managing those. And then we also have ones for our logistics girls upstairs who do the scheduling of the projects they have their own that they use. Inside sales has their own workspace, and then like accounting as well. So you're never like working on top of each other or having to be like, hey, respond to your customer. You know, it doesn't get lost in the list.
Yeah. Right, because it stays separate. Do you guys like the Kanban style where you can like have those columns?
Oh yeah.
Allow for that?
Yep. Yeah, my main rep who works in Hatch, I said, you make these columns however it makes sense to you. So whatever works the best for you, you do it, you lead the charge on this. And it has been working really good. You know, like initial messages, in the process, date given, like scheduled, or like have a question, need to ask someone, like, so it has been working really well for staying organized. I think like even just for like being able to like get more out of your people, right? Like if you're manually texting and manually emailing all these people, like that's just a time suck, right? And a time waste if you can have something that automates it for you. So like for us and for inside sales as well, just like being able to focus on like mainly like the smiling and dialing, right? And not have to go in and like do all these manual messages. It really saves a lot of time and lets you focus on your high value activities.
Yeah, totally. I know that a lot of people, you know, they would have team members just dialing all day. And now like, yes, they still have to dial at times, but like with Hatch doing all the outreach over text and email, they're really only having to interface with the people that are responding back. And then,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it saves a lot of time.
Yep, for sure.